Two dogs biting each other. Putin angrily slapped Xi Jinping when China supported Ukraine for profit. During stressful times of the global crisis, Xi Jinping created a humorous story when he deliberately angered Putin by giving his opinion in favor of being able to buy gas and oil cheaply. A journalist has said that Vladimir Putin is not pleased with China's tepid backing for his invasion of Ukraine. Indeed, I suspect that the evil Mr. 11 was content to let Russia plunge into this conflict as much as to see what would happen. The scheme of Mr. Xi Jinping is probably well known to many people. The immediate success of the Russians in Ukraine may have led to China's swift attack on Taiwan, but it is also possible that resistance and severe global condemnation and sanctions led to Mr. 11 looks at things a little more cautiously. And while he still manages to ride two horses with one and not upset Putin too quickly, perhaps he is looking at things in a different light. On the other hand, journalist Zoya Sheftalovich said today that Vladimir Putin seems to be unhappy with Beijing's backing of the invasion. The statement comes on the heels of Chinese President Xi Jinping's plea for maximum restraint in response to Russia's conflict in Ukraine. A tweet from Russian state media RT concerning China's meaningful human rights violations of the Uyghur community in Xinjiang was noted by the editor of Brussels and London Playbooks, Ms. Sheftalovich. As she put it, it seems Putin is not pleased with China's lukewarm backing for his war. Meanwhile, what benefit does China have by being dragged into a long and dirty war with Russia, a country that is blatantly and grossly disregarding human rights? He is cutting off China's progressive march because the Western countries are now rallying to self-sufficiency, cutting off Russia and abandoning China. The West realizes that it can do more on its own. And China could miss out on trade and business if Putin takes it down. On the other hand, if this war drags on, it will give China the opportunity to enjoy all the benefits brought by Russia, and Western countries embargo Russia only to make China more and more fatter and richer. Like all dictators, they are friendly only when it suits them, hot and cold. If Russia has steam over Ukraine in a few days, he will be more supportive, but not willing to be closely associated with a loser who can be overthrown. Revisiting the issue, Ms. Sheftalovich's remarks coincided with those of William Burns, director of the CIA, who indicated that President 11 has been unsettled by Russia's troubles in its conflict in Ukraine. Mr. Burns said, "I do think that they, China, have been surprised and unsettled to some extent by what they've seen in Ukraine over the last 12 days, everything from the strength of the Western reaction, to the way in which Ukrainians have fiercely resisted. The stakeholder is China, and he will be in the middle of waiting for the moment for this crisis."